bare embrace. My father long gone, and rain dripping through the roof onto the packed earth floor of our hut. Still, she'd passed the fables on to me, as if through hearing them maybe I'd one day be granted the blessings life had denied her. I didn't believe in blessings anymore. Another drop plinked into the bucket. I made a rude hand gesture at the distant will-o'-the-wisp, then turned my back on it and began my preparations for the day. The wash basin still held leftover water from the previous night. I splashed it onto my face, gasping at the shock of cold. Then I scrubbed my teeth and changed my nightdress for a loose shirt and trousers. The day would be a busy one. It was not only a sacrifice year, but the first time I'd be eligible. But I didn't want to miss my favorite morning ritual. The one-room hut was dark, but I knew the layout by heart. I stepped around the small table and two mismatched chairs that served as a sitting area, making my way to the scarred wooden table by the hearth. Bundles of herbs hung overhead, along with a few withered onions. Anya had given me some cheese the last time we'd gone for a walk together, so I cut off a piece and shoved it in my mouth before grabbing my cloak and heading outside. The rain had thankfully stopped, but the mossy ground was slick and rimed with overnight frost. The snows would come soon, but we were still in the first month of winter, with its glittering mornings and spats of icy rain. As I rounded the corner of the hut, the wind grabbed at my messy braid, trying to rip the brown curls loose. The sky was purpling to the east, the blackness of night slipping away. The wood and stone buildings and thatched roofs of Tumbledown stood against the lightening sky like crooked teeth, and smoke began drifting from chimneys as the town woke. The town wasn't my aim, though. My mornings were dedicated to the bog. Entera was curved like an hourglass, with a longer and wider lower part, and the bog banded the country like a lady's belt, with Tumbledown its buckle. Just north of my hut, the shrubbed land merged into a vast, glassy, wet expanse, dotted with low mounds of earth and plant matter. Thick fog sprawled across it, obscuring the far side where the land became fairy territory. Dozens of will-o'-the-wisps drifted through that fog, the floating orbs fading as dawn grew closer. I watched the lights dim and go out one by one, and a familiar sadness settled alongside my lingering anxiety. On solstice mornings, my mother's presence felt especially close. Her faith that she could become one of the Fae's favored ones had never faltered. Supposedly, the Fae used to travel across the bog to trade with, seek entertainment from, or rain blessings down on humans, and occasionally abduct those they took a liking to. But now, the eerie lights that drifted across the wetlands at night were the only sign they even existed. Loving the Fae hadn't brought my mother any joy. Yet, when she'd died 18 months back, feverish and agonized, her last words had been for them. Maybe now they will save me. They hadn't, of course. I filled my lungs with icy pre-dawn air, willing my bitterness to wait a few hours. The morning was beautiful, and there were treasures to be found. When pink tinged the eastern sky, the last golden wisp disappeared, and I retrieved my net from a hollow log and wound my way out into the bog. Most people were too afraid to come here. It was easy to get lost and drown. The ground between pools of water was deceptive, and more often than not, what looked like solid earth was actually a pit of mud waiting to suck a traveler down. There were legends, too, of knuckers and other nasties that lurked in the fens and wet places of the world, eager to rend the flesh of those who misstepped. I'd spent my entire life at the edge of the bog, though, and I never misstepped, nor had I seen evidence of dragons under the water. It had been